The city sits on the coast of the Baltic Sea, so water is everywhere. Harbors, ferries, and small islands are part of daily life. Helsinki is clean, organized, and easy to get around. Trains and trams run on time. Streets are easy to navigate. If you want to explore landmarks, see finished design, or just understand how people live here, Helsinki makes it easy. By the end of this video, you'll know which areas are worth visiting and what makes this city different from anywhere else in Europe. So to understand Helsinki, the first thing you need to know is how the city is laid out. Helsinki sits on the southern coast of Finland, facing the Baltic Sea. Helsinki was founded in 1550 by the Swedish king Gustav I of Sweden. At the time, it was meant to be a trading town. For many years, it stayed small. But that changed in 1812, when Finland was under the Russian Empire. The Russian rulers made Helsinki the capital instead of Turku. After that, the city began to grow. New government buildings were constructed, streets were planned more carefully, and the city slowly developed into the capital Finland has today. Now Helsinki is made up of several districts. Each one feels different, and if you're visiting, knowing these areas helps you understand where to spend your time. One of the most interesting areas is the Design District. This district spreads across about 25 streets and includes more than 150 creative shops and studios. You'll see jewelry stores, fashion boutiques, art galleries, cafes, and design studios. The Design District actually covers parts of 4 neighborhoods: Kartinkaupunki, Kamppi, Punavuori, and Ullanlinna. Many of the shops have a small black Design District sticker on their door, which makes them easy to recognize. If you enjoy design, art, or unique local shops, this is one of the best places in Helsinki to walk around. Next is Kaupatori, also called Market Square. This is one of the most active places in the city. You'll find stalls selling fresh berries, pastries, seafood, and handmade goods. The square sits right next to the harbor, which makes it an important transport point too. From here, many people take the ferry to Suomenlinna Sea Fortress, a historic island fortress just outside the city. Several famous landmarks are also nearby, including Helsinki Cathedral, the Presidential Palace, and Helsinki City Hall. Because of this, Market Square is usually one of the busiest parts of Helsinki. Another key district is Kamppi. This area is known as one of the main transportation hubs in Helsinki. The Helsinki Central Railway Station, metro lines, buses, and shopping centers are all close by. Because of that, many people pass through Kamppi every day. But the district is not just about transportation. It also has several museums and cultural spaces. Kamppi also connects easily to nearby areas like Kluvi, which has many restaurants and shops. A little northwest of the city center is Turku. Many of the streets here are lined with older apartment buildings that date back to the early 1900s. The area also has several parks and open spaces. Some well-known places here include the Sibelius Monument, the Helsinki Olympic Stadium, and the scenic shoreline around Turku Bay. Because of the calm atmosphere and attractive buildings, Turku is considered one of Helsinki's more desirable residential areas. On the eastern side of the city is Kallio. Historically, it was a working-class neighborhood. It sits across Pitkäsilta Bridge, which once marked the divide between wealthier districts and poorer ones. You'll find independent cafes, vintage shops, music venues, and a lively nightlife scene. It's slightly farther from the main tourist center, but many locals consider it one of the most creative neighborhoods in Helsinki. Finally, there is downtown Helsinki, the heart of the city. This is where many of the most famous landmarks are located. These include Senate Square, Helsinki Cathedral, and Uspensky Cathedral. The area is compact and easy to explore on foot. Most museums, shopping streets, restaurants, and public transport connections are within walking distance. For visitors who only have a few days in Helsinki, this is usually the most convenient place to stay and begin exploring the city. How to get to Helsinki. Most international travelers arrive through Helsinki-Vantaa Airport, which is about 19 kilometers from the city center in Vantaa. It's Finland's largest airport. Once you land, you have several options to reach central Helsinki. The fastest public transport is the Ring Rail line. which connects the airport directly to Helsinki Central Railway Station. The journey takes around 30 minutes, making it convenient if you want to start exploring the city quickly. If you prefer buses, the Finnair City Bus and Airport Bus 615 or 620 at night run regularly to the Central Railway Station. There's also Bus 61, which goes to Tikkurila Railway Station, where you can transfer to local trains. Buses are comfortable and often faster than driving during rush hour. Taxis offer a direct and easy ride to the city center in about 30 minutes, costing around 45 to 50 euros. Taxi stands are located outside both terminals. Driving is also straightforward, with clear roads connecting to Helsinki via highways E18, E12, and E75. In winter, vehicles must have winter tires, and speeds are reduced for safety. How to move around Helsinki. Helsinki has a very efficient public transport system, so getting around is simple. The city's metro, buses, trams, trains, and ferries are all managed by Helsinki Region Transport, HSL/HRT. The public transport network is managed by Helsinki Regional Transport Authority and covers several cities in the metropolitan area, including Helsinki, Espoo, Vantaa, Kauniainen, Kerava, Sipu, Kirkkonummi, Siuntio, and Tuusula. The system is divided into 4 zones labeled A, B, C, and D, which spread outward from central Helsinki. Tickets are based on these zones. A single-zone ticket usually covers travel within one city, such as Helsinki, while multi-zone tickets allow you to move across different cities in the metropolitan region. Prices start at about €3.30 for a single ride, while a day ticket costs around €10.60. Children between 7 and 16 years old receive about a 40% discount. One important thing to remember is that you must always have a valid ticket before boarding. If you travel without one, you may be issued a €100 penalty fare, in addition to the price of the ticket. If you are using the HSL app, make sure your ticket is already active on your phone before entering a bus, tram, commuter train, the metro station, or ferry boarding area. For full details on ticket types and fares, check the link in the video description. Trams and ferries. Trams are one of the most popular ways to move through central Helsinki. They're frequent, reliable, and cover most of the city's major sites. Buses fill in the gaps, reaching areas that trams or the metro don't. The metro mainly serves east-west routes and connects to the airport, while commuter trains run to suburbs and nearby cities. Ferries operate during the warmer months, offering a scenic alternative to reach islands like Suomenlinna. Cycling is another great option, especially in summer. Helsinki has around 750 kilometers of dedicated bike lanes, including routes along the coast and through parks. Bikes can get you to areas public transport doesn't reach easily, and the city is generally very bike-friendly. Driving is possible, but not always ideal. Traffic can be congested during rush hour, and parking is limited and paid, ranging from €1 to €4 per hour depending on the zone. Roads are well maintained, and the speed limit is 50 kilometers per hour in the city and 80 kilometers per hour outside. Winter driving is more challenging due to snow and ice, and all vehicles must use winter tires. For walking, Helsinki is extremely accessible. Many major attractions are clustered in the city center, so you can cover a lot on foot. Sidewalks are wide and well-maintained, and strolling is often the fastest way to explore local neighborhoods. Combining walking with public transport or cycling is usually the most efficient way to see everything. Tourist locations in Helsinki. When I explored the city, most of these spots were very easy to reach. Many of them are close together, so you can walk from one to the next without much planning. One place you will notice very quickly in Helsinki is Helsinki Cathedral. You can see it from far away. The building is bright white and sits on top of a hill in the middle of the city. When I first walked into the area, the large staircase in front of the cathedral was the first thing I noticed. Many people were sitting on the steps, taking photos, or just enjoying the view of the city. The cathedral was finished in 1852 and was designed by architect Carl Ludwig Engel. It was originally called St. Nicholas Church, but today it is the main church for the evangelical Lutheran community in Helsinki. If you look closely at the roof, you'll see statues of the 12 apostles standing around the top of the building. They almost look like they are watching over the city. You can also go inside. There are fewer decorations, but the space feels bright and calm. Another nice thing is that entry is usually free. Right in front of the cathedral is Senate Square. This is one of the most important squares in the city. The square is surrounded by several historic buildings that were also designed by Carl Ludwig Engel in the 1800s. These include the Government Palace, the University of Helsinki, and the National Library of Finland. It's also a place where many events happen during the year. Concerts, celebrations, and public gatherings are often held here. Every evening at 5:49 p.m., a sound installation called The Sound of the Senate Square plays across the buildings. If you happen to be nearby at that time, it's an interesting thing to experience. If you want to learn how people lived in Finland in the past, a good place to visit is the Suurasaari Open Air Museum. This museum is located on a small island not far from the city center. Walking around the island, I saw old farmhouses, wooden cottages, and even manor-style homes. These buildings show how farmers, workers, and wealthy families lived between the 1700s and early 1900s. Inside many of the houses, you can see original furniture, tools, and decorations. During the summer, guides sometimes wear traditional Finnish clothing and explain how life used to work in these homes. It's also a peaceful place to walk because the island is surrounded by nature. Another place I spent some time in was Kaupatori, also known as Market Square. This is one of the busiest and most lively areas in Helsinki. The market sits right next to the harbor, so you can see boats and ferries coming and going while you walk around. Many stalls here sell fresh food. You'll see a lot of berries, pastries, fish, and even reindeer sausages, which are quite popular in Finland. There are also stalls selling souvenirs, crafts, and local products. The market usually opens early in the morning and runs through the afternoon. Just a short walk from Market Square is Old Market Hall. This indoor market has been serving locals since 1889. When I stepped inside, it felt very different from the outdoor market. And instead of small stalls outside, the hall is filled with permanent food counters. You can find cheese, seafood, cakes, coffee, spices, and many other local foods. Some stalls also prepare fresh meals, so it's a good place to stop if you want something quick to eat. The atmosphere feels very local, and many Helsinki residents still shop here regularly. If you're interested in art, one place worth visiting is the Atheneum Art Museum. This museum is part of the Finnish National Gallery and focuses mainly on Finnish art. Inside the museum, you'll find thousands of works created between the 1700s and the 1900s. Many of the paintings show Finnish landscapes, daily life, and important historical moments. When I walked through the galleries, it was interesting to see how the style of art changed over time. The museum also hosts temporary exhibitions, workshops, and guided tours throughout the year. Another place that really stands out in Helsinki is the Udi Central Library. When you first see the building, it looks very different from the others around it. The design mixes glass, steel, and wood, which gives it a modern but warm look. When I walked inside, the first thing I noticed was how open the space felt. The building has 3 floors, and each one feels different. The ground floor is active and busy, with cafes, events, and people meeting up. The middle floor has studios, workspaces, and even gaming rooms. Then the top floor is the quiet area, with books and large windows looking out across the city. Even if you're not planning to read anything, you'll probably want to walk through the building just to see how it's designed. If you want to see the city from above, there's Skywheel Helsinki near the harbor. This Ferris wheel lifts you about 40 meters into the air. When I rode it, the view slowly opened up as the gondola moved higher. You can see the harbor, nearby islands, and the rooftops of Helsinki. The ride takes about 12 minutes, making a few slow rotations. Some of the gondolas are also unusual. One of them is actually a sauna, which is something you almost never see on a Ferris wheel. There's also a cafe and terrace nearby, where you can sit for a bit after the ride. Right in one of the busiest parts of the city is the Kamppi Chapel of Silence. From the outside, the building looks simple and curved. made almost entirely from wood. Inside, everything becomes very quiet. When you step in, you immediately notice how calm the space feels compared to the busy streets outside. People come here to sit, think, or just take a short break from the noise of the city. It's a small place, but it stands out because of how peaceful it is. If you enjoy modern art, you might want to visit Amos Rex. The museum sits under Lassi Palazzi Square, so most of the exhibition spaces are actually underground. The first thing I noticed were the large rounded domes rising from the ground. People were sitting on them, taking photos, and just relaxing. Inside the museum, the exhibitions focus on modern and contemporary art. Many displays use digital screens, light, and interactive installations, so the experience feels very different from a traditional museum. Another important landmark in Helsinki is Uspensky Cathedral. When you approach it, the first thing you notice is the red brick walls and the golden domes on top. The cathedral was completed in 1868 and is the largest Orthodox church in Western Europe. It also reflects the time when Finland was influenced by the Russian Empire. From the hill outside the cathedral, you can also get a nice view of the harbor and the surrounding area. Another place you might walk through while exploring downtown is the Forum Shopping Center. This shopping center sits right in the city center and has more than 100 stores across several levels. Inside, you'll find clothing brands, cafes, restaurants, and entertainment spaces. If you need a place to rest, grab food, or escape the cold during winter, this is an easy stop to make. Choosing where to stay in Helsinki is fairly simple because the city is compact, well-organized, and easy to move around. The city center of Helsinki is the most convenient area to stay, especially for visitors who want easy access to everything. Staying here makes it extremely simple to travel around the city or take day trips to other destinations in Finland. Accommodation in the city center includes some of Helsinki's best-known luxury hotels, several high-quality mid-range options, and a few serviced apartments. Many hotels here are located within walking distance of restaurants, cafes, shopping streets, and major transit stops. Because of the location, hotels in this district tend to fill up quickly, and prices are usually higher than in other neighborhoods. Budget accommodation options are limited. Hotels in Turku are typically mid-range to upper mid-range properties, many of which belong to well-known Scandinavian hotel chains. These hotels often offer larger rooms, business-friendly services, and reliable amenities such as saunas, fitness areas, and breakfast restaurants. Accommodation in Kallio is generally more affordable than in the city center. Options here include mid-range hotels, serviced apartments, and budget-friendly stays. The area also offers good public transport connections, including metro and tram lines that provide quick access to downtown. However, the neighborhood is also known for its nightlife and busy bar scene, which means some streets can be noisy during late hours. Helsinki is one of the safest capitals in Europe. Even as a popular tourist destination, the city has a low crime rate and a generally secure environment. Still, it's smart to stay aware of your belongings, especially in crowded areas. During busy seasons, watch out for pickpockets or bag snatchers, often on bicycles or motorbikes. If you're exploring on foot at night, it's best to avoid areas like Kaisaniemi Park or railway stations after dark. Keep in mind that public transport at night can be limited, with trains stopping by 2 p.m. while buses and tram work overnight, which may make travel slightly more expensive. Emergency number: 112, police, fire, ambulance. During my Helsinki trip, I spent €5 at the Kamppi Chapel of Silence. I spent €7 at the Finnish Museum of Natural History with my student discount, original €20, €5 at Amos Rex with the student discount, original €20, and €23 at the Atheneum Art Museum. Transportation around the city cost me €15.90. These were my exact expenses while in Helsinki. If you're planning a trip, don't treat Helsinki as just a transit stop. The city rewards exploration with its architecture, history, and quiet moments that reveal its character. It may not be the biggest or loudest capital in Europe, but it offers depth and experiences that stay with you. Our ebook is available on Gumroad Inc., with payments securely processed through Stripe Inc. In supported countries. Payment methods such as Payoneer, checks, money orders, or bank transfers are not supported. This guide helps you explore Helsinki in a smart and affordable way. If you want to experience Finland properly, Helsinki is worth your time. With the right guide, you can travel smart, spend less, and still discover the best parts of the city.